There is a reason your heart has waited this long, not because it was forgotten, not because it was unworthy, but because heaven was crafting something too holy to be rushed. You are not being sent a relationship, you are being entrusted with a covenant. And the timing of this sacred love is not late, it is perfect. You've watched others pair off and wondered if perhaps you missed your moment. You've seen quick connections, fast infatuations, and relationships born out of urgency. And still you waited. Even when the loneliness felt like weight. Even when hope flickered. You chose to trust divine timing over human pressure. And now, that trust is about to be honored. This sacred love is unlike anything you've known. Not because it's without flaws, but because it's built on purpose. This is not just a partner. This is a divine mirror. Someone whose spirit has been refined like yours. Someone who didn't take shortcuts, who also waited, who also suffered the silence of divine preparation. They carry a hunger for wholeness, not just romance. And that's why your hearts will recognize each other instantly. This connection won't come through force, it will come through flow. Not by chasing, but by aligning. As you continue walking in your assignment, you'll notice how their presence appears. Not to distract, but to confirm. Not to compete with your purpose, but to complete the circle God already drew around it. And when this love arrives, it won't feel like an escape from loneliness. It will feel like a return to destiny, a remembering, a restoration. Because heaven is not sending you someone to fill your empty spaces. It's sending someone who's also been filled by the Spirit. You won't have to rescue them. You won't have to earn them. You will meet them already whole, already yielded, already aligned. This is the kind of love that waits for no one but honors every delay. This is why your heartbreaks didn't last, why the connections you tried to force never bore fruit. They weren't divine delays, they were divine protections. God refused to let you settle in something that looked good on the outside but starved you on the inside. He wouldn't allow your soul to sign a contract heaven didn't approve. And so, while the world rushed ahead, heaven slowed you down. Not to punish you, but to purify you. To get your heart so aligned with the rhythm of God that you would never again confuse attention for affection. You would never again mistake being seen for being safe. You are not receiving love now because you finally became worthy. You were always worthy. You are receiving it now because both you and your covenant have reached maturity, and now, what once felt far off is about to feel inevitable. This is a holy thing, and it will come gently without noise. You won't have to announce it to feel its weight. You won't need validation to sense its truth. The connection will speak for itself. The peace will be your confirmation. The timing will feel divine, because it is. Stay yielded. Stay anchored. Love is not coming because you longed for it. Love is arriving because heaven ordained it, and nothing can stop what God has already written into your timeline. The page is turning. The chapter is love. And it begins now. There was a time when love felt like a battlefield, where every attempt to open your heart was met with confusion, with disappointment, with delay. But what you didn't see then, and what you're beginning to understand now, is that God wasn't keeping love from you. He was keeping counterfeit from attaching to your calling. The depth of your soul demanded more than surface-level connection, and because of that, your journey to love had to be different. The same hands that formed your identity have been shaping a covenant just as unique. And now you are about to meet someone whose presence won't require you to shrink. They will not be intimidated by your light. They were prepared to walk in it. This is not about chemistry. This is about clarity. You won't need to question where you stand. You won't have to earn reassurance. There will be a steady peace, a divine flow, a knowing that transcends words. This is what sacred love feels like. Not just excitement, but ease. Not just connection, but covering. The delays you endured were not rejections. They were resets. You were being reset from old patterns, from broken attachments, from misplaced hope. And now your spirit is in rhythm with heaven's order. That is why the one coming will not repeat your past. They will reveal your future. You've done the work, you've let go, you've healed what others ignored. You've grown in silence while others sought noise. And because of that, God is entrusting you with a relationship that matches your maturity. This love will not drain you. It will discern with you. It will not distract you. It will develop with you. Get ready for conversations that go beyond the surface, for a connection that challenges and refines you, for a love that speaks not only to your emotions, but to your assignment. This is the kind of relationship that expands your capacity to love not just each other, but the world you are called to impact together. And yes, there will be moments of testing. Not every day will feel perfect, but even in conflict, there will be covenant. Even in correction, there will be compassion. This love is rooted in spiritual maturity, not emotional impulse. And that's why it will last. This isn't about proving anything to others. It's about fulfilling what heaven ordained before you ever knew what love could be. Your covenant is not being formed to satisfy the culture. It's being revealed to reflect the Creator. Two lives, divinely prepared, now divinely aligned, not by effort, but by timing. So prepare your heart, chosen one, not by striving, but by receiving. The love that's coming doesn't require a performance. It just requires your presence. Show up. Stay open. This isn't just a new connection. It's the fulfillment of a sacred promise. And it's already on the way. If your spirit bears witness to this word, do this now. Like this video, subscribe to stay aligned with what God is saying, and comment the number 55 below. That number represents divine alignment, covenant, and a new beginning. Let it be your public agreement with what heaven is already unfolding in your life. Let love find you ready. You've always sensed that your love story wouldn't look like everyone else's, that the waiting wasn't just about time, it was about transformation. God wasn't just preparing the other person. He was refining your vision so you'd know how to see them when they arrived, not through fear, not through trauma, but through truth. This sacred love will not trigger your insecurities. It will heal them. It won't just accommodate your past. It will honor your journey. Because the one being sent to you doesn't need you to be perfect. They need you to be present. This is not a partnership built on illusion. It's built on identity. Who you are in God will draw out who they are in Him. And when it comes, don't expect grand entrances or dramatic confirmations. Expect a peace that is too deep to be forced. Expect stillness in your spirit when you meet their eyes. Expect the absence of anxiety and the rise of clarity. That's how divine timing works. It doesn't compete with your purpose. It complements it. This love will call you higher, not by demanding, but by being. Their presence will ignite what has long been dormant in you. Gifts you didn't even know you carried will begin to flow. Dreams you placed on the shelf will be revived, not because they complete you, but because they were sent to walk with you in the fullness of your call. You've always carried a sensitivity to timing. That's not by accident. It's because your heart was wired to move by divine rhythm, not cultural pressure. That same rhythm is now guiding you towards someone whose path has been secretly aligned with yours all along. You were never alone in this waiting. They were being kept just as carefully. And when you finally meet, you'll both know that everything before now was training. Every almost was a lesson. Every delay was a shield. Every no was God's hand protecting a yes that had not yet matured. You're not meeting each other at the end of your stories. You are meeting each other at the birthing of a new one that was written before the foundations of the world. And no, it won't always be easy. Because real love isn't the absence of challenge, it's the presence of covenant. But even in difficulty, you'll feel divinely held. You'll pray together, hear together, build together. Not just a life, but a legacy. This love won't just bless you, it will bless generations after you. So be still. Don't reach out from restlessness. Don't lower your standards in loneliness. What's meant for you is being preserved with precision. God is not sending you someone you have to convince. He's sending someone who already recognizes the anointing on your life and is ready to walk beside it. Chosen one, you are not just attracting love, you are aligning with it. The wait was never wasted. It was working. And soon, the fulfillment will be undeniable. This is not the end of your longing. This is the beginning of your promise. And it's coming exactly on time. You've been through seasons where love felt distant, not because God was silent, but because He was shielding something sacred. There were people who came close only to reveal they couldn't carry your depth. There were moments where your heart was open, but their spirit was not aligned. And even though it hurt, heaven stepped in and said no. Because what is holy cannot be forced. You are not hard to love. You are hard to deceive. That's why your path has required discernment more than romance. God was never interested in giving you someone to simply soothe your loneliness. He was preparing someone who could stand in covenant, who would honor your assignment, not just your emotions. And now that kind of love is approaching. Slowly, surely, undeniably. A sacred love that mirrors the strength you've built in the quiet places. A love that does not panic when things get hard, because it was born in prayer, not in pressure. A love that understands that covering is not control, and intimacy is not intensity. It's consistency. You've been refined for this. The way you see, the way you hear, the way you protect your peace, all of it is part of your preparation. You don't need constant stimulation. You need spiritual alignment. And that's exactly what's coming. A relationship rooted in stillness, not performance. In honor, not hype. And when it arrives, it will feel like a door opening you didn't have to knock on. A conversation that flows without trying. A presence that feels like home, not escape. You'll realize that you weren't waiting for a person. You were waiting for a mirror of your own transformation. This is why your standards were high. Why compromise never sat right in your spirit. Because you weren't just waiting for compatibility. You were waiting for covenant. And covenant can't be rushed. It has to be revealed, piece by piece, moment by moment, until the picture becomes clear, and you both realize we were never meant to miss each other. God is not only orchestrating your meeting, He's already authored your connection. Every delay, every lesson, every private healing has been shaping you for the kind of love that will last, the kind of love that leads, the kind of love that does not flinch in the face of warfare. Because real love doesn't avoid battle. It becomes your ally in it. And that's who is coming. Not someone who simply enjoys your presence, but someone who knows how to pray you through. Someone who covers you when you're vulnerable. Someone who celebrates your calling, not competes with it. So stand firm in your spirit. Love is not arriving because you're desperate. It's arriving because you're ready. The timing has ripened. The covenant is near. And when it comes, you'll know. Not because it will be perfect, but because it will be peaceful. That peace will be the loudest sign that you are standing in the will of God. You will not have to chase what has been assigned to you. This sacred love is not entering your life through effort. It's entering through alignment. There's nothing more you need to fix. Nothing more you need to earn. What's unfolding now is not a result of striving. It's the result of surrender. You've made peace with your solitude. You've found joy in your own company. And because of that, the love coming to you is not showing up to complete you. It's showing up to accompany you. You are not a half waiting to be made whole. You are whole, and heaven is sending someone who's learned the same. This is what divine timing produces. Love that doesn't just meet a need. Love that recognizes a mission. You are not just being sent a person. You're being sent a partner in destiny. Someone whose presence does not detour you from God's voice, but draws you deeper into it. Someone who will not slow down your assignment, but move with it in harmony. And when you see them, you will not question it. You will not wonder if it's too good to be true. The peace will be undeniable. The conversation will be effortless, not because it lacks depth, but because it is built on divine design. You will sense in your spirit what your eyes have yet to fully grasp. This is the one who's been walking toward me while I've been walking with God. This is why you had to heal before they arrived. Because if they came too early, you would have missed the weight of what they carry. If you met them too soon, your unhealed parts might have tried to perform or protect. But now, your soul has been trained. Your heart knows how to stay open and anchored at the same time. You will not self-sabotage this. You will not miss it. God didn't bring you through the wilderness just to watch you wander again. He didn't break you free from counterfeit just to let you fall into confusion. This time, the fruit will speak. The timing will confirm. The Spirit will bear witness. And when doubts try to creep in, when fear whispers that it's too late or too much or too risky, you will remember this. God doesn't send chaos dressed as connection. He sends clarity wrapped in peace. And this love, this holy thing being placed in your life, will be marked by peace that passes understanding. So stay ready, chosen one. Stay in position. Keep tending to your heart like sacred soil, because love is about to plant itself not just in your emotions, but in your reality. Not for a season, not for validation, but for the kind of legacy that only heaven can write. It's arriving, and it's right on time. There's something sacred about a love that was preserved, a love that waited until the soil was ready, until the heart had been tilled by truth, until the timing aligned with eternity. That's the kind of love coming your way, not rushed, not reactive, but refined. And it's arriving in a way that will feel more natural than dramatic, because heaven doesn't have to announce what it sends. It simply arrives and shifts everything. You'll notice how your spirit settles even before the words are spoken. You'll feel seen, not for what you present, but for who you are at your core. This love will not demand performance. It will call forth presence. It won't ask you to pretend you're perfect. It will make room for your process, because the one coming into your life has walked through fire too. They've had their own breaking, their own refining, their own seasons of hidden preparation. And now, you're both being unveiled. What God is joining together in this season is not a romance to idolize. It's a covenant to steward. This union is about mission, about vision, about multiplying what God has deposited in each of you separately and now desires to release through your unity. Together you will walk in a rhythm that disrupts cycles, not only in your lives but in the lives of those connected to you. This is love that builds altars, not just memories. Love that hosts the presence of God. Love that provokes purpose and silences fear. There will be laughter, yes. Joy that surprises you in the smallest moments. But there will also be strategy. Assignments revealed, territories taken. Because when two people align under God's timing, heaven doesn't just celebrate, it commissions. This love is being assigned to you because you are trusted. Trusted not to worship it. Trusted not to run from it. Trusted to walk it out with humility and honor. You've been entrusted with revelation, and now you're being entrusted with relationship. And though it will bless your life, it will also stretch your heart. You will be invited to grow in ways you haven't yet imagined, not because you're lacking, but because sacred love always calls you to expand, to yield, to become. That's how you'll know it's real. Not by how it flatters, but by how it challenges. Not by how it fills your time, but by how it aligns with your truth. And even in the growing, you'll feel covered, safe, held. Because that's what covenant does. It holds space for transformation. So prepare not only your mind, but your daily life. Make room in your routines, clear space in your soul. Because what's coming is not temporary companionship. It's a permanent shift in how you walk, in how you war, in how you win. Sacred love is arriving, and you are finally ready to receive it. You won't need to rehearse how to receive it. You won't have to prepare a speech or plan the perfect moment. When this sacred love enters, your spirit will already be prepared. Because your spirit has been listening, watching, waiting with expectancy, not desperation. And now, what your heart once imagined is becoming reality, not because you demanded it, but because you were developed for it. You allowed the process to shape your soul. You let go of idols. You tore down false images of love. You stopped measuring yourself by timelines that never applied to your life. And in that surrender, the door opened. This is why it couldn't come through your striving. This kind of love could only be accessed by rest. And now, in that posture of rest, your reward is being revealed. You're stepping into a connection that requires no convincing, no performing, no chasing. Just clarity and covenant. The person you are meeting has also walked through the fire. They are not intimidated by your depth. They are not confused by your strength. In fact, your strength invites theirs to rise. This is iron sharpening iron, not to wound, but to awaken. Together, you will build something the world doesn't understand. Not loud, not flashy, but unshakable. A love that carries weight in the spirit. A love that speaks even when you're silent. A love that restores parts of you you didn't realize were still waiting to be seen. And this time you won't question if it's real, because it will bear fruit from the start. Not fruit of perfection, but of peace. Fruit of spiritual alignment, of shared vision, of mutual honor. And every time the enemy tries to whisper doubt, the evidence will speak louder. You will know them by how you pray differently, how you plan differently, how you move with more wisdom and less fear. This love will not make you reckless. It will make you rooted. It will make you bold in the areas where you were once afraid to hope again. And in the stillness of ordinary days, you will look over and realize, this is what sacred feels like. Not grand gestures, but quiet knowing. Not fireworks, but a holy flame that never dies down. So let your heart remain open. Let your soul stay yielded. The one who is coming is not late. They're arriving at the speed of divine timing. Every delay had a purpose. Every silence was part of the preparation. And now the fullness is here. You are not being teased by heaven. You are being trusted by it. Trusted to love without losing yourself. Trusted to lead and be led. Trusted to carry something that will outlast feelings and seasons. The time is now. The love is real. And the door has already opened. You will no longer need to explain why you waited. Your life will say it for you. The peace in your eyes, the alignment in your steps, the glow of someone who didn't settle, who didn't give in to the pressure to be chosen by someone misaligned with their purpose. You didn't just wait for love, you waited for wholeness. And now, love is arriving to honor that wholeness, not interrupt it. It's going to feel gentle, not like the rush of adrenaline, but like the calm of deep waters, not like obsession, but like orbit. Two people who revolve around purpose, not possession. And in that orbit, you'll both find freedom, not control. Intimacy, not instability. Joy, not anxiety. For years, your spirit has carried a sense of sacred delay. You saw the world move on and wondered why your time hadn't come. But now, heaven is revealing the why. Because what you are carrying is not average. And what you are being joined to is not ordinary. God wasn't withholding, He was protecting. Protecting what He ordained for such a time as this. And when you finally speak to each other, really speak, it will be like unlocking a room that's always existed in your soul, but never had a name. Your voice will sound familiar to them, not because of past life myths, but because your spirits were always tuned to the same frequency. It will feel like finally being heard, not just with ears, but with eternity. This kind of love will minister to the places in you that logic could never reach. It will answer questions you stopped asking. It will affirm parts of you that you thought were too complex to be understood. Because real love doesn't just see your potential, it understands your pain. It doesn't idolize your strength, it honors your vulnerability. And you, chosen one, will not have to shrink to keep this love. You won't have to play small to preserve peace. You won't have to quiet your calling to keep them comfortable. Because this person will not just tolerate your fire, they will tend to it. They will feed it. They will understand that your passion isn't too much. It's a reflection of your mantle. Gone are the days of trying to fit into spaces that couldn't hold you. Gone are the nights of praying for someone who couldn't see your soul. You've been released from the cycle of almosts and not quites. You are being ushered into a union that doesn't feel like compromise. It feels like confirmation. This is why your dreams were so vivid, why your warfare was so intense. The enemy was terrified of this connection. Because two people aligned in God's timing are a threat to every system built on distraction. Together, your clarity will shatter confusion, your presence will expose pretension, your unity will ignite revival, not just in each other, but in the spaces God sends you into. You'll laugh again, the real kind, the kind that bubbles from the soul and surprises you. You'll feel safe, not just emotionally, but spiritually. Their prayers will reach into your dark places and bring light. Their presence will carry peace like a banner over your life. And it won't be perfect, but it will be pure. There will be battles, yes, but this time, you won't fight alone. You'll stand back to back, shield to shield, sword to sword, not just fighting for each other, but for what God wants to do through you both. You'll understand why the journey was so long, why the loneliness was so deep. It was building the capacity to hold something this sacred. And if ever fear tries to knock, if doubt ever lingers in the corners of your heart, just look at the fruit, the way your life aligns, the way your vision expands, the way you love deeper without losing yourself. That's not lust, that's legacy. You are not too late, you are right on time. And so is this covenant. It doesn't need to be rushed. It needs to be received with open hands, with open heart, with the full understanding that this love is not the reward. Obedience was. This love is the result of that obedience, because you dared to stay when others walked away, because you chose healing when it was easier to repeat history, because you forgave without receiving apology, because you allowed yourself to be redefined by truth, not trauma. Now, heaven is releasing what could only be carried by a refined vessel. Your preparation was not in vain. Your tears were not wasted. Your prayers did not dissolve into silence. They formed a foundation, and now that foundation is being built upon. Brick by brick, word by word, moment by moment. You will find yourself saying, "This is what I prayed for, but even better than I imagined." Not because the person is perfect, but because the timing is, because you're ready, because they're ready, because God has declared now. And the beauty of it is, you won't have to shout it from the rooftops. It will be seen in your peace, felt in your alignment, known in the way you show up, whole, healed, and holy. This love will not ask you to dim. It will invite you to shine. The ones who doubted will watch and wonder, not out of jealousy, but out of awe, because they'll realize that what you waited for was worth every moment of silence, every night of loneliness, every misunderstood no. You didn't wait in vain. You waited with purpose, and now purpose is standing at your door, knocking. So don't look for dramatic signs. Look for deep peace. Don't wait for loud confirmation. Listen for the quiet assurance in your spirit. God speaks loudest in stillness. And this covenant? It's coming quietly, but powerfully. It won't need to prove itself. It will simply be. Chosen one, this is your moment. Not because you finally figured everything out, but because you finally surrendered. You let go of forcing. You let go of needing. You let go of timelines and turned toward truth. And that truth is now turning toward you. This is not a new chapter. It's a whole new book. One authored by heaven, one written in the ink of obedience, bound by trust, and sealed with divine timing. You are not entering a relationship. You are stepping into alignment. You are not just being loved. You are being understood. You are not just being chosen. You are being commissioned. This love carries weight because your calling carries weight. And finally, you have found someone who doesn't flinch under that weight. They rise to it. Together you'll carry glory. Together you'll spark change. Together you'll walk in a rhythm that breaks generational chains and builds generational blessings. Because this isn't about falling in love. It's about rising in covenant. Let your heart receive this. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are being aligned. And the moment you said yes to the process, you set this covenant in motion. So breathe deep. Smile gently. Love is not a distant hope. It is a present truth. It's not chasing you down. It's meeting you where you've grown. It's already here. And when you begin to walk in this love, you will feel something unfamiliar but undeniable: ease. Not because life will suddenly become free of trials, but because love will no longer be another battlefield. You'll stop bracing for heartbreak. You'll stop rehearsing your worth in fear that someone might miss it again. Because this time, your value will not be questioned. It will be recognized. You'll feel the difference in the silence. The way stillness between you two won't feel empty. It will feel full. Full of trust, full of reverence, full of the kind of knowing that doesn't need constant affirmation to stay secure. There will be no guessing, no second guessing, no grasping for reassurance. The truth of it will simply be steady, present, undeniable. And you'll begin to notice how every lesson makes sense now. Every time you were told not yet or not them, you'll see the fingerprint of heaven over those closed doors. Not as punishment, but as preparation. Not as denial, but as divine mercy. If God had given you what you wanted then, it would have cost you who you were becoming now. That's why it had to happen this way. That's why it felt like delay. Because your desire was real, but the foundation had to be stronger. And now, it is. Now when you speak, your words carry wisdom that only wilderness can give. Now when you love, your heart carries depth that only healing can produce. You are no longer looking for someone to rescue you from solitude. You are now walking with someone who values what that solitude produced. You will walk differently in this love, not timidly, not suspiciously, but confidently, not with arrogance, but with assurance. Because there is no longer confusion in your spirit, there is clarity. You've heard the voice of God in the quiet. You've seen him correct your course when you wandered. You've felt his hands gently breaking what wasn't built for you, and now you know the sound of his timing. You know the pace of his process, and as this sacred connection unfolds, you'll find that it will not only support your calling, it will stretch it. Because true covenant doesn't just agree with your past, it speaks into your future. This person will see you through prophetic eyes. They will hear your voice with reverence. They will guard your heart like it's their own, not out of obligation, but out of alignment with God's instruction. You will build with this person, not just memories, but movements, not just romance, but legacy. There will be ideas you never dared to speak that suddenly find language in their presence. There will be plans you tucked away for another lifetime that now seem urgent, because they've arrived with someone who can carry them with you. You'll worship differently, you'll rest differently, you'll dream differently. Because this isn't just love, it's an awakening, a divine reminder that you were never meant to carry your purpose alone, that your voice was never meant to echo without response, that your prayers were never meant to return void. This is what you were being prepared for, the kind of connection that challenges your excuses, comforts your wounds, and confirms your direction. You won't have to wonder if they're for you, because they'll already be with you. In spirit, in pace, in pursuit. They won't come to complete your story, they will come to witness what God has already been writing in you and to steward the next page with you. Stay anchored, stay honest, stay surrendered. Because what's coming is not just the fulfillment of a desire, it's the embodiment of a divine promise. A covenant born in heaven, revealed on earth, and made manifest in your life. Not through striving, but through surrender. You are ready.